use an air door?
Shipping
Rudy?
door.
Shipping door, back door, those are both good.
Patio door.
Patios are good. All of those are good. Drive-throughs are good. And you can use it on a front door. It depends on, you know, your traffic and what you're trying to accomplish. What do you use an air door for?
Control the atmosphere.
Control the atmosphere and the ever-popular bugs and flies, right? An application that they've added in the last couple years. Last year, I believe they changed the regulations on walk-in coolers that you have to have a barrier from the inside atmosphere to the outside air. Strip curtain, vinyl hinge door, or air door, you have got to put something on your cooler for when the door is open. The largest application that I've run into, rear door. And how do you know that's where the intakes come in? That's where the dumpsters are. That's where you go in the restaurant. That's where I go in the restaurant unless I'm eating. I go in the back. If you're environmental, you want to put it on the inside. And why do you want to do that? Okay, when you're on the outside of the door, the air's coming down and it's mostly coming to the outside. And that's helping to keep your flies out of the building. When you're doing conditioned air, you want to keep your hot in or your air conditioning in. That air needs to stay to the inside, otherwise it's drawing the warm air from outside into the building. And you don't want to mix that hot air or that cold air from outside and pull it into your environment inside. It will save the customer dollars by keeping the air condition or the heat in his building. What kind of things do you need to know to determine what air curtain the customer needs to have?
Size of the door.
Size of the door first.
Power source.
Power source. 120, 208. The price doesn't usually vary by the voltage, but you do need to know it so we wire it correctly. What else do you need to know?
What are you using it for?
Okay, what you're using it for is also a key application because we're already discussing environment, insects. Those are all key things. On the size of the door, not just the width. Okay, you have to know the height as well because some of these air doors are not designed for above 8 feet. So when you get to a loading dock door, it's 10 feet, 12 feet high. We need to put a different type of unit on. Our standards are 3/4 horsepower. You might need a 1 horsepower. You need 2 1 horsepowers, depending on the type of door. The next thing you need to know is your switches. The normal switch is a plunger, like your refrigerator door. You open the door, that switch pops out, and the light turns on. In this case, the switch pops out and the air door comes on. My preference is that you use it that way so that every time the door opens, the air curtain comes on. It's required in California in every food service application. North Carolina health inspectors are pushing it very hard. Other health areas do not require it as much. California, it's a law for the state. You must have an air door on your receiving door. We use the K-zone, which is shown in the general brochure. It's a 1/5 horsepower. It's a thin unit, 8 inches. But it comes with an electrical packet, completely assembled. All you're doing is running the power to the fly fan and then running the power to the J-box and then mounting your door switch. In this case, we use what we call a magnetic reed switch. Everybody know what a magnetic reed switch is? You have 2 magnets. They touch together. When you separate the door, the magnets pull apart and the unit turns on. Please do not do this on a freezer, okay? It's not designed for that. Only for the coolers where the temperature is above that freezing level and the humidity is not an issue. But if the law requires you to put something on the cooler, what happens with a strip curtain when it's put on a cooler door? How many of them use it? They hang it over the shelving, or someone comes in with a razor blade and cuts all the way across, and you have a nice little place to duck underneath as you go into the cooler. Okay? Most people are not using strip curtains. It's too much trouble. It knocks the things out of your hand, knocks stuff off the tray, whatever it happens to be. As much as we all like to have strip curtains, they're not very useful, you know, out in the field.